Get ready to step into the spotlight. Today we sit down with someone who has been walking red carpets, interviewing top stars and covering some of the biggest moments in entertainment. So grab your press pass.
Bahamian Footprints, presented by Coca-Cola.
It's not every day we get a first-hand look into the life of someone who lives at the intersection of celebrity, cinema, and pure red carpet magic. Today we're joined by a pop culture insider and a man who's interviewed with some of the biggest stars in the world. Chet Kincaid is here to bring all that Hollywood energy right to us. Welcome to What's Trending, Chet. We're so excited to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me today. I'm so happy to be here.
It's great. So tell me, what is it like for you to live my dream? Tell me.
Your dream. Well, let me tell you, I am so excited to be a part of the things that I watched growing up, but it is not at all as glamorous as one would think. You know, it takes discipline, nerves of steel, and perpetual work. You're only as good as your next job.
That makes a whole lot of sense. So some good advice there. So tell us about your journey. How did you break into the entertainment journalism field, and what led you to That Grape Juice?
Well, it was always a passion of mine, going all the way back to 2008 after I graduated high school. I started my own blog, The CS Perspective, with my friend Shandia. That then led into an entertainment column in eLife 242, which led to working with Sharice Major, who is a friend of mine. And then I went off to school finally in 2014 in New York City. And in my senior year, I've always been a viewer of That Grape Juice. And I applied because they were looking for contributors. And I had a 2-hour call with the editor-in-chief, Sam, and the rest is history.
That is awesome. So you've covered everything from premieres to award shows. What's been your most memorable red carpet moment so far, and why?
So you said most memorable, but
yes,
probably not what you're thinking. So about a month ago, I interviewed Vivica A. Fox. She looked amazing. She was ready to talk about her new movie, her going viral about talking about her former relationship with 50 Cent, what love looks like in the future for her. It was my interview of the night.
Okay.
So I go back, keep in mind, I'm a one-man show that night. So I have my camera, my mic. I go back to double check the footage. I didn't press record.
Oh, wow.
You know I was cussing. I was cussing that night. I just wanted to get out of that whole venue. But stuff like that happens all the time. Not all the time, but like it happens.
So when interviewing big stars, how do you find the balance between getting the juicy headlines and treating the conversation like a real human story?
Listen, it comes down to respect. I don't ever want my brand to be associated with mess. That's not me. But it's about finding that balance between fun and being meaningful. So back in April when I did the Sinners junket with Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler, I'm like, yes, I'm going in to interview Ryan Coogler. I need to button up. Let me ask some deep questions. So I go in there saying, oh, what's freedom mean to you, being a black man with platforms and role models? They're like, freedom. So in hindsight, when I did that, I was like, maybe I should have gone in there with more lighthearted energy. So it was still a good interview, but not one of my best. So you got to find that balance.
Okay, that's understandable. So in an age of social media and instant news, what's the biggest challenge for entertainment journalists like yourself to stay authentic and relevant?
Again, a theme throughout this entire interview, balance, because you have to always stay true to what you want to do, but also keeping up with the industry. When I started, it was about writing, blog spots, WordPresses. Then it became about YouTubes. Then it became about podcasts, audios, and then now video podcasts, and then now social media short clips. So it's like you have to be balance and take advantage and make sure you keep up with what's going on, but always know that, hey, this is my lane. Unless I want to do a full 180 pivot, you got to stay true to your craft.
And so speaking of the craft, do you feel a sense of responsibility when you're reporting, especially because with pop culture influences, so many people around the world are watching. So how do you handle that pressure in terms of the information that you would be getting and disseminating?
Listen, I absolutely feel responsibility. I mean, I know how I was raised to think for myself, ask questions, but a lot of other people are a lot more impressionable, right? So for me, it's not so much pressure because I find myself to be a very honest, straight shooter, straight to the point, let's get it out the way. But I know that sometimes I can be a bit too honest, so I do have to soften my delivery. And I find that the general public, a lot of the truth is based in people's ideals.
That makes a lot of sense. So if you could go back to when you first started out, what advice would you give yourself or someone who wants to get into entertainment journalism?
One, stop doubting yourself. Your perspective is your superpower. Also, success is not linear. I might do the biggest red carpet, but then I might be right back to creating videos in my living room. So, and then also don't wait for permission, create your own content, even if it's only like 10 people. Consistency builds credibility.
That makes a lot of sense. I didn't think of it that way. But what's one project that you hope to check off next? That's whether big screen, global, or otherwise. And what's in the works for Chet?
So I really want to continue what I'm doing, do more things with That Grape Juice, continue to build out my personal brand, Mike Chet. Do more red carpets. I know a lot of Zendaya movies are coming out, a lot of Anne Hathaway movies, so I want to do that. And also just structure my business of it all because money got to make. I live in New York City. If I lived anywhere else, it would be pretty easy, but it is tough here in the city. You really have to be strong. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was definitely a pleasure getting a glimpse into your world and chatting with you. So we're happy to see you where we see you next. So have a great one, Chet. So thank you so much.
Thank you. The pleasure was all mine.
Well, stick around. When we return, we're getting the inside scoop on the battle of the high school pop bands. You're watching What's Trending. Stay with us.
If you would like to be a part of What's Trending, DM us on Instagram at What's Trending on ZNS.